Hello, this is Viv and Mike, and welcome to the Medical Ancillary Trends podcast, where we help independent practices stay that way by showing you how to grow revenue, improve practice loyalty, and find new patients with medical ancillaries.
Today, we're going to be discussing a program that many physicians have interest, but very few participate: clinical research trials. In fact, only about 15% of physicians have ever participated in clinical research.
Today, we're going to be speaking with an expert in clinical research, Dr. Michelle Alex, who is the founder and president of Conduct Clinical Trials. She's going to tell us about research-naive physicians and how they can become part of the process of bringing new drugs to market while adding a lucrative income stream.
Today, we're pleased to welcome Dr. Michelle Alex, founder and president of Conduct Clinical Trials, which is a site network organization with over 600 doctors across the United States. And what I like about Conduct Clinical Trials and Dr. Michelle Alex is that she has over 20 years of experience of clinical research, and she specializes in working with research-naive physicians, getting them involved in the clinical research process. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Michael and Vivian.
My first question for you is, why are physicians reluctant to participate in clinical research?
I think the biggest reason is they're busy managing their practice. They don't have the time or the guidance to really know how to get into this business. So that's where we come in. We help physicians get into the business. We manage everything about clinical trials that can be a little tedious. So we do everything. The only thing the physician has to do is see his patients like he would normally. So we handle contracts. We work on business development. We do everything for that physician. So I think the biggest hesitation physicians have is they don't know how to get into the business. They don't have the time to figure it out. Once they work with us, they realize how easy it is.
So I'm sure that sounds like music to a physician's ears when somebody else does all the work for them. So can we drill down a little bit more to find out why should they be interested, particularly in participating in the clinical trials that you have?
Oh, absolutely. So the biggest reason is the insurance dependency. This clinical trials is another option for physicians to add another revenue stream to their practice without having to deal with insurance. Clinical trials pay a lot more than insurance, so it's very lucrative. Another reason is it keeps physicians on the forefront of medicine. They're bringing new treatments to their patients. Patients like clinical trials. Patients get paid by the pharmaceutical company to participate in clinical trials. And also, pharmaceutical companies pay advertising funds for the physician to bring in these patients. So they get free advertising for their practice. They don't have to deal with insurance. Patients get paid. So, it's a win-win for everyone.
I know from having worked for Big Pharma, the steady drumbeat that we would get, we have to charge this much for the medications, because do you have any idea how much we spend in clinical research? So I know there's got to be pretty big budgets for these studies. And you mentioned that it's lucrative, but could you give us an idea of what a typical budget might look like for the studies that you're offering?
On average, I tell our physicians it's $100,000 for 10 patients. So it breaks down to about $1,000 per patient per visit. Physicians get paid per procedure like they would with insurance, but the payments are a lot higher. So typical budget's $100,000 for 10 patients. These studies can go anywhere from 12 months to 3 years. The beautiful thing about it, Michael, is you're not limited to just 10 patients. I had a physician in Alabama that was doing a high cholesterol study. He brought in 40 patients, and that budget was $16,000 per patient.
That does sound pretty good. So how many different studies do you guys have?
We do, Vivian, we're the largest ones out there. We've been doing this for 20 years, so we have quite a large network of pharmaceutical companies that we work with. So we do anywhere from 70 to 100 studies a month. So physicians can participate. We have some physicians that are doing 10 studies a year, which is quite doable.
Are there certain specialties that are going to see more opportunities than others? What's the sweet spot for clinical research?
Internal medicine, family practice, just because you have a lot more indications, Michael. So you can do hypertension, diabetes. So internal medicine, family practice. But having said that, neurology is big, psychiatry is big. Pretty much the sky's the limit. But I think the sweet spots would definitely be internal medicine, family practice.
So how do doctors actually get started, and how long does that startup process take? So if a doctor says today, yes, that sounds really great, how do I get involved?
So what happens is we have an onboarding process for physicians. We find out what's a good fit for them. What studies are they interested in conducting? We find out a little bit more about their practice, the infrastructure of their practice. And then once they're on board, they start receiving study opportunities. They also start online training, which takes about 4 to 6 hours. So that's the onboarding process is the online training, finding out what's good for the physician as far as their practice type, their patient population, and that's it. And then we provide ongoing support for them.
This is exciting stuff. Viv, what do you think?
It sounds pretty good to me. I mean, we've seen a lot of different opportunities come and go, and some of them sound great, and then when you put them into practice, they're not so great. And I'm sure plenty of doctors have seen that happen too. But certainly with the company doing all the work for them, plus the size of the remuneration, it just sounds like a solution that's almost too good to be true.
Dr. Alex, I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you, Michael.
Viv, I found it very interesting what Dr. Alex had to say about breaking free of the insurance reimbursement paradigm. I know we've spoken to a number of doctors who are actively trying to diversify greater portions of their practice outside of insurance pay.
Yes, well, that's the reason for the dramatic increase in the use of medical ancillary programs. Doctors have many opportunities to add revenue to their practice, but I think that this program is quite unique among them because of the rewarding nature that a lot of physicians find in doing clinical research.
If you're interested in learning more about participating in clinical research, you can go to our website, ancillarymedsolutions.com, or you can call us at 888-315-1519. Or you can also text the word TRENDS, that's TRENDS, to 38470 to subscribe and stay updated on any new developments in the ancillary space. And we look forward to sharing another ancillary opportunity with you in the next 2 weeks.